What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to do a little bit of team building, and we're looking at Politoed today for the regulationH format. So in a couple of videos ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago, we looked at Poliwrath, but now we're also going to look at Politoed, and there is some niche and viability for Politoed versus something like a Pelipper here. There are some tools that Politoed can have that Pelipper cannot. Obviously, they both get the Rain, and the bulk is a little bit different. Pelipper a little bit more physically bulky, Politoed a little bit better on the special defense, although Politoed does have a much larger HP stat than the Pelipper. Now, that being said, very much comparable special attack, 95 versus 90, not too much difference there. 70 speed versus 65, so Politoed is a little bit faster, but the main selling point of Politoed is that it does get access to Haze or it does get access to Perish Song. So that is the main reason that you would use Politoed over Pelipper. Now, that being said, it does have some decent ice coverage moves. So I have seen Icy Wind, okay? You can also go for Ice Beam, and both of these are really good into the dragons that are running around right now. And then obviously you also have Weather Ball in the rain, does a lot of damage. So that's always going to be a mainstay on whatever Politoed set that you have. But either way, if you do something like this where you have like Weather Ball, Icy Wind, Haze, Protect, then you can do something like either a Citrus Berry, for a bulky set. You could even do like Covert Cloak over here. That's also fine. Just in terms of making good use out of your sets. And then after this, you can also go for a Choice Spec set. But after this, if you don't run Protect, then you can go a little bit more offensive here. You can definitely do something like Muddy Water. You can definitely do something like Ice Beam over here. And then you can have Haze. Okay, even though you are Choice Specs, you're not really clicking Haze. You're more or less clicking these other moves. And you only really click Haze if you're into that Dondozo matchup, maybe other setup matchups for that matter. It's not used as much, but again, you do have access to it. Now, that being said, you can also add the Perish Song in the Haze place, and then you can even just run something like a Gothitelle over here and, build the team from there, right? So obviously, Archaludon is going to be your main focus with the Politoed. And then you can do something else here with the Gothitelle. Now, that being said, you don't have to run Perish, okay? You can still run Haze and still just use the trapping ability of the Gothitelle. And Shadow Tag is very, very strong. If teams cannot switch, they're at the mercy of the Archaludon, Electro Shots, Body Presses. There's no switch, there's no pivot, okay? So to be able to trap things in is very important. And then especially, Politoed against the Torkoal teams or even like sand teams in general, if you can trap them, they cannot pivot out, and then you'll have full weather control against those type of teams, right? So then after this, where can you go with the team if you decide to go with the Gothitelle route? Again, I think you just always go with Fake Out, Pressure, Psychic Stab move, and then along the way you can always just do Protect here. And this last move is up for grabs. It depends on how you want to play the Gothitelle. And then just in terms of the rest of the team, I still think you go with something like Basculegion for like your late game cleaner. You can also start off with Basculegion, right? You can definitely do stuff like, Archaludon, Basculegion with Politoed in the back, and then whatever else you want to have here. So you can do something like this, and I think it still makes sense overall. And then if you do run the Perish stuff, you are a Ghost type, you can always switch out. So I think Perish with the Basculegion also makes sense. So there's some good synergy there. But what I also want to do is just from here, let's take a look at some of the other successful teams thus far with Politoed, Archaludon stuff, and see if we can have a baseline in terms of what we want to run. All right, so we're going to head into the LabMouse website and take a look at the data and see what it tells us here. There's actually quite a few decent Politoed teams here, so we do have a general idea of what we want to run. So let's look at this recent one from Louisville, from Ismail Hussein. So look at this. It's Archaludon, Politoed, and there is a Sneasel Dragon Bolt here. So this is also okay. And again, it's a Choice Scarf Haze set. Oh, that's pretty cool. Muddy Water, and then Surf, okay. And then Rillaboom with the Loaded Dice set, because again, the AV's on the Archaludon, so you need another item on the Rillaboom. Loaded Dice, Bullet Seed does have some decent synergy here. Fake Out, Pressure over here. I'm surprised this isn't coaching, because, you have Rillaboom, Pult here, even Instant to an extent. You can buff your body press damage over here. But, Fake Out is just so good right now. And look at this. 1, 2, 3 Fake Out users over here. So that's pretty cool. I do like this a lot. And, standard Dragapult set over here. And then again, we talked about the synergy between Dragapult and Archaludon in a previous video. The Ghost typing pivot into the fighting type weakness into the Archaludon. I do like Terra Bug here because again, Bug, in the rain is also quite strong. You don't have the fire weakness as much, and you resist fighting, and I think that's a little bit better right now against some of the Sneasel stuff, or even just fighting coverage in general. So I do understand the Terra Bug typing here, and it just makes a lot of sense overall. If we look at another team here from Eloy Han, again, this one's from Dortmund, a previous regional, but still very recent. This one is the Perish Song Politoed with the spec set along with the Gothitelle. Then here's the Incin, and here is the Rillaboom. So I do like this. And, there's just leftovers protect here. If you're going to do the Perish stuff, you definitely need more protect options. So 1, 2, 3, 3 protects here. So, okay, that's fine. Normally you would do something like 4. But again, you have fake out options. You also have Trick Room on this Gothitelle, by the way. There is expanding force and skill swap over here. So I do like the 6. I think I run some slightly different sets here, but I do respect the 6. I think it's very good. Obviously, has some good results at Dortmund. I do like that. So maybe we can use that as a baseline. But let's look at some other teams here. How about That Guy Jimmy here? So he's running the Toxicroak stuff, which I do understand also. Again, Dry Skin in the Rain has pretty niche ideas here. It's Salamence, it's King Gambit, but, no Archaludon here. So I'm not really so sure about this one. But again, it's pretty cool. I think Politoed Rain is quite interesting. And, Hurricane Salamence, Draco Meteor, Tailwind, Toxicroak doing something over here along with the Gambit, Rillaboom, Clefable, Unaware stuff. We've already seen like Clefable, King Gambit ideas in the past. Wakanberry is interesting though. I don't know if we need that item. I think we can definitely do another item. It does get Earth Power, so that's pretty cool too. I almost forgot Politoed does get Earth Power, so maybe we have to look at that as well. How about this one? Big Boy Blue, from the Himi Tour, Archaludon, Politoed, Basculegion as your core. Then you have Sneasel with Rillaboom here, and this is a Grassy Seed Rillaboom with Acrobatics. I think if you're going to do this, I think you might as well just go like Terra Flying here, and at least it'll remove your ground weakness. But again, this is still pretty cool. It's got Icy Wind, it's got Haze, so a little bit of speed control, so that's cool. And then the Incin is a standard safety goggle set, of course, right, with Flare Blitz and Parting Shot. Then as we go down here, how about Violet here? So similar ideas again. Just we have a King Gambit in the Rillaboom slot. Covert Cloak with Perish Song, Weather Ball, Encore. So not as offensive, a little bit more defensive. There's an AV Incin over here. Okay, so look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 protects here. And there is Perish ideas here. So you can definitely consider the Perish trap considerations, just with Politoed and Gothitelle over here. Heal Pulse is excellent, right? So, you're going to be taking so much damage if you're just going to play the Perish stuff. You kind of need to heal yourself over time, and this is the way to do it, and I do like this a lot. So, especially with King Gambit, right? So, you can just go for setup plays and then just heal yourself if you do take some damage. They can't switch out of the Sucker Punch, so you're always just pinning that slot no matter what. And I do like Gothitelle Gambit ideas. I think it makes sense. And then, of course, Basculegion and Archaludon with the Politoed is just the other mode that you can run in terms of like your fast mode, right? So I do like this. I think this makes a lot of sense too. So if you don't want the Rillaboom, you can definitely do the King Gambit along with this kind of idea. I think it just makes sense overall. Then we start going to some other cool teams. Look at this one from Kendricks. 7-0 with the Gengar too. So Politoed, Muddy Water, Helping Hand, Haze, another cool set from Politoed, Terra Steel as well. This is Kingdra, right? So another idea besides the Basculegion. You get another Dragon on here. So that's interesting. And again, this is Destiny Bot Gengar. Here's the Haze user. All right, this is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. So Kendricks has a pretty cool squad there. Then this one, actually no, I want to go down here. Okay, so this one 5-3, but look at this. It's Power Archaludon, right? And this is Life Orb Sneasler. And then this is Expert Belt, Terra type Ground, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Haze, Weather Ball. No protect at all. Okay, this is a crazy team. Okay, 5-3 is pretty cool, honestly. Misty Terrain, Whimsicott, of course. And another one of those techs that's rising a little bit. Imprisoned Trick Room Indeedee. This is a squad, I'm not gonna lie. So I do respect that. And how about one more here? This one is with the Braviary here, clicking Expanding Force. Another Sneasler idea with the Indeedee. So, pretty understandable, all things considered. But I do understand that we have the baseline at the end of the day. So we can go back into Lab Mouse and then we can start building one type of Politoed team. We'll showcase it and then we'll think of a second variant. So this way you'll have 2 teams and 2 ways to play Politoed. Okay, so just to have some balance on the team, what I think I want to do is just actually add Incineroar over here. Okay, and now I have this fire water idea, and now I just need a grass type here. So you can definitely do a Mungus, but I do think the Gothitelle Instant Mungus is just a little tad passive. I think this is still like okay if you want to play like that, but in terms of my Trick Room answer, I think this will be our idea for Trick Room. And then we'll just go a little bit more of an offensive grass type here. So I think just adding the Rillaboom just makes sense here. And now I have this Fire Water Grass Core with Incin, Rillaboom, and Politoed. And look, I've got 3 Fake Out users now. So that's really cool and just in terms of positioning and pinning certain slots. But at the end of the day, I do think having Trick Room here against the Tailwind stuff, along with, just flipping Trick Room against other Trick Room teams is just an idea that you can really capitalize with the Gothitelle overall. So how do we want to play the team for here? I think we can just go simple sets here with Assault Vest and just go Electro Shot, Draco Meteor, Flash Cannon, and what's that thing called? Body Press. Now I was using Dragon Pulse for a bit, but I was just missing so many KOs. I'm not gonna lie, like I left things on like 1 or 2 HP so many times that Draco Meteor would have just easily just picked up, right? So I do like Pulse. I think there's a lot of Pulse believers, but I'm just more of a Draco guy. Don't miss. Listen, if you got the Clover luck on the channel, you just go Draco Meteor. You don't need to know Dragon Pulse. Okay. The Politoed set, I do like this offensive set. With the occasional haze, I do think having ice coverage is important here. I don't need Icy Wind if I'm just going to be going Trick Room on the Gothitelle. So I think just having this is okay. And then just going like a defensive Terra, like Terra Grass over here on the Politoed for the Mungus shenanigans or even Rillaboom stuff is just okay also. I think Citrus Berry Gothitelle is also quite good with Terra Water, helping me out against the Goldango stuff, as well as, Ghost weakness. And then just having the Basculegion over here also with the Grass Terra for defensive typing. I think Life Orb is also quite strong here. And then, Wave Crash, Last Respects, Aqua Jet, and then just Simple Protect, right? So a little bit of priority for your team. And then Incin, again, Safety Goggles, Intimidate Support. So look at this. Intimidate, Triple Fake Out, Speed Control with Trick Room. You have ideas here. And then just, overall, Will-O-Wisp is good. Knockoff, Parting Shot. Positional purposes for the Incin. Incin is still good. I understand it's dropping in usage as of late, but it's still a top 12 Pokemon in the format. And it's a Pokemon that will rise in Day 2 regionals just because of how good and useful it is in certain matchups. Of course, Rillaboom with Grassy Surge, Assault Vest set, and actually, no, I'm sorry, the Miracle Seed set. So we're going to go a little bit more offense and then just Fake Out, Wood Hammer, Grassy Glide. Okay, and then you can do U-Turn. You can also do Protect here. I think U-Turn is still pretty good on the Rillaboom. And, just a little bit more offense that you can get out of this. I can even consider, 252 Adamant here just for more damage. And, you can, if things want to calc for Assault Vest Rillaboom, they're not calcing for Miracle Seed. And now you're just going to be able to pick up those KOs that normally those Pokemon would survive if you were the Assault Vest doing less damage. Right, so I think this is where we want to do, with the Rillaboom and as well as everything else. So again, Fire Water Grass Core here, and then, the Archaludon just overall likes a lot of these options here. It allows it to set it up, and then just potentially just sweep teams if you're just racking up body press stuff, along with the Electro Shot and the Rain. But I think this is a pretty cool team. If we had to use Politoed, I think this is the way to do it. Now, again, like I said, you can go with Perish variant. I will show you a second variant with Perish Song, after this team. But just in terms of trying to do EVs now, so we'll do Modest here, okay? And then we'll do the set that I like right now, which is 252, 124 investments. This is enough to survive the Close Gambit, Close Gambit Sneasler. There we go. I said it right. Modest 116, okay? And then 1 point in the Spadef for a nice even number. And then a couple points into speed. Again, we don't really need speed. We have Trick Room here. This is how I want to play. We're going to be super bulky. And our body press is going to do a lot of damage overall. So I do like this Politoed set. We can just max the special attack and even max the speed for that matter, and then just go with timid set here. I think this is still fine. And what's really good about this is this outspeeds a max speed Dragonite or Adamant nature. So I think just doing that and hitting it hard with an Ice Beam, there's some merit to it. So I do like timid set on the Politoed. The Gothitelle, I just want to go, just relax nature here. And honestly, it's just enough to survive the King Gambit Kowtow Cleave. So that's just going to be 252 investment here, along with I would say 212 right here. I think this is okay. And if anything, just for a little bit of optimization for, the terrain and the berry, we can even just do this and then just crank it up like that. And then just put the last couple points here into special defense. And that's really all I need out of my Gothitelle. Basculegion, Adamant nature is still okay. Max this attack stat. I just put enough speed to outspeed the Ursalunas that are timid. And then after this, you just do a little bit of Life Orb optimization at 209. And that's it, right? So this can be played in Trick Room and Tailwind because we have that kind of speed stat where, yes, I can do both. But honestly, again, this is your cleaner in the rain, right? This is your speed control option, quote unquote. And then you have the Trick Room option available with your Gothitelle. All right, new instant set here. So we're going to go Impish this time, all right? And the idea is to be able to survive Garchomp stuff and also be able to survive Sneasel stuff, especially after the Intimidate boost, right? So at 252, Impish, along with about 180 defense, will accomplish that goal entirely. And then I just have a little bit of leftovers here into my special defense. And that's really all I need. So to be able to do that and survive is huge. You do give up the Pelipper Weather Ball calc. But to each their own. I still think going this set and being physically bulky is also okay. I've always liked Careful Nature in the past, and I think Careful Nature is still strong. But I think just being able to live Sneasel stuff, even after or not even with the Intimidate debuff, is also important. So going Impish is going to help me out in that regard. So Rillaboom here, I'll just optimize the HP, 132 HP for the 192 even number for the Grassy Terrain recovery. And then after this, about 100 speed. So 118, that'll outspeed Modest Pelipper, and then just 1 point in defense, up the rest into special defense, and that's really all I need. So it's a more offensive Rillaboom, I would say. But overall, I think we got what we want just in terms of this Pelipper Archaludon team. So let's go ahead, let's show some test games, and let's see how the team performs overall. All right, so this guy has a Trick Room team with the egg. Okay, yeah, lots of people are trying the egg now, especially after the regionals. So shout outs to Parker Simmons, right? So for coming up with the egg idea. But overall, I think Incin looks really good here. We just have so much against his team. The only thing we have to worry about is, I guess, the Soul King. But even then, what does he do? Like this entire team, Incin can kind of sit in front of. We can intimidate the Ursaluna. We have dark type pressure into the Indeedee, into the egg, the Torkoal. Again, we get to resist it, and then just having the Politoed against both the Torkoal and the Ursaluna is just gonna help a lot. So I like what I have here. So honestly, I'm just going to play it simple and easy and straightforward. He goes with Ursaluna Indeedee. I think that's wrong. Because now you don't even have your other Trick Room center besides the Indeedee. So you always double tap the Indeedee here. And just ignore the Ursaluna here for that matter. He protects. He's not even doing that much damage without the Brave boost, not the Brave boost, the Orb boost. So yeah, Electric Shot obviously gets Swift here, but doesn't matter. I just needed the special attack boost. We got the crit, but I was always aiming for the Indeedee anyway. So I'm gonna do a double swap here almost. I'm gonna go Gothitelle. I'm gonna go Instant here. I waste my deep buff. I'm sorry, I waste my buff, but that's okay. I get to intimidate the Ursaluna. I get to resist the Torkoal stuff. He even just goes for Weather Ball instead of Eruption anyway, right? So Gothitelle, again, staying alive here. We get to Parting Shot the Ursaluna and make it -2 now. I'm going to go back into the Toad, change the Torkoal Weather again, and there's another Facade. We live again because Gothitelle has excellent bulk here. We Psychic the Torkoal. Weather Ball does nothing. Obviously, we're able to resist it. And now he's at our mercy because he has no Trick Room. We go into Instant again, -3 Ursaluna, Protect again, doesn't matter. And now we just click Muddy Water. Torkoal dies, and now the Ursaluna is trapped at -3. And there's really not much else you can do from here And he just honestly just forfeits and doesn't really do much. So very good ideas with Politoed. And the Instant is just, like I said, so good if you don't have anything for it. Okay, this person also has some Ceruledge stuff, so I understand Murkrow and the Worm and the Garchomp. Again, the healing potential. But there is a Ceruledge here. No coaching, they'll probably just bulk up again. And the Incin as another fire type on the team with the Sylveon. I don't know if I need both Incineroar and Ceruledge here, but to each their own. Anyway, that being said, he goes with Ceruledge and he goes with the Incin. That's totally fine. I'm going to go with Archaludon here, and I'm going to go with the Gothitelle. So I'm going to trap things here, fake out stuff. I'm going to fake out the Incin first. He goes for Bitter Blade into my Gothitelle, but of course he's already, I do find out the speed, and I go for the Dragon Pulse here. So again, this is one of those games where I was still Dragon Pulse, just trying to test it out. So, this is where Pulse was actually okay, because I do get to click 2 Dragon moves and not have my special attack drop in this case. So there's the Willows there. I don't know why he did that. But there's the Sylveon. That's fine. He goes Terra Fire. Good play there. So he gets to resist my Flash Cannon. We force the Terra. And now a parting shot into Archaludon. This is still okay, by the way. He goes into Murkrow here. There's Hyper Voice. And now we do get a stamina boost, but obviously it's not really a huge deal. But it's Murkrow, Sylveon ideas. We get for Psychic, again, -2 Spit F now. Things are ranking up in damage. So I'm going to go into the Toad here. Okay, and he goes... the Sylveon protects. Good play there. Because I was just going for Glory in that sense, and I knew I was going to get it. But in the end, he goes for Protect, which means now he's going to just go simple Tailwind stuff. And he's going to go the Hyper Voice, and that probably just kills me, right? But I actually live on 1, which is cool. So good bulk on our Archaludon. So, Weather Ball, Sylveon, goodbye. Archaludon, Electroshot into the Murkrow. It's not a Violet, it's actually just a Sash, which is interesting. I don't know about that, but okay, sure. And now we go back into Gothitelle here, and there's the Incin. So this is pretty easy from here. You always just want to hit the Murkrow because you can only hit one target, whether it be Fake Out or something else. And now he just dies anyway because he did not try and Fake Out and protect his own Murkrow there. So yeah, Gothitelle and Politoed just cleaning up things in the end game there. Okay, this is a typical Sneasler balance stuff with Dragon Bolt there. But overall, I think this is still good as far as what we want to do here. So it's going to be Sneasler Rillaboom, not even Sneasler Dragon Bolt. I'm going to go Archaludon and Politoed here. So now I threaten a few things, but I can just easily switch the Politoed out right now for the Incineroar, right? There's the Intimidate support like we want. I didn't lead because of the King Gambit. There's the Grassy Glide Resist. Terra Bug, of course, there it is. Close Combat does nothing. Sneasler, no Sash. It's one of those other sets, the Grassy Seed, so that means you die to Electroshot, so thanks for coming, Sneasler, right? And now he brings in, I believe it was the Primarina here, but again, I have Fake Out Pressure. I thought the Rillaboom would switch, and it did into Dragapult there. No need to Fake Out that. You always pin the Primarina slot here, whether it protects or not. So Electroshot, Guzz, pick up the Primarina here. So very easy now, because now we have everything that we need. He can't break the Archaludon at this point. We're +1, and we have +2 special attack. All right, Darts comes out, not a whole lot. Now I'm +2 defense. So for what was that? Okay, Flash Cannon to Rillaboom here, and then I could even just do Knockoff. I eat the Stomping Tantrum. But yeah, there's the Knockoff. Doesn't even kill the Dragon Bolt. It's actually a Sash set. So I don't know about that one. You sashed your Bolt instead of the Sneasler, but yeah. Phantom Force, again, doesn't matter here. He's just playing this out. Archaludon pretty much just walls a lot of what he has. He didn't even bring the King Gambit. I thought the Gambit would have helped him a little bit, just because we had the Incineroar in the back, and we don't even have a Fire-type move on it. So yeah, not bringing King Gambit, big no-no, because we were able to take advantage and pick up the win here. Another Trick Room team here. There is a Palafin over something like an Ursaluna. Do not ask me why there is a Palafin here over something like an Ursaluna. Either way, I do like my Toad ideas here, but I'm going to go Instant Goth first, just to see what's up. So there's the Hatterene, and there is the Palafin. Oh, great. Thanks for allowing me to intimidate you. All right, Fake Out onto the Palafin. All right, and I just want to knock off the Hatterene item. Right, so, damage reduction all around, and there's the Trick Room. That's okay. Because, again, guess what we get to do later on. But I know I'm slower, so I stay in with the Instant, and I just go for the Will-O-Wisp and render this Palafin useless. Right? There's the Flip Turn. Does absolutely no damage. He goes into Gallade here. That's going to do some damage. But we're going to go into Toad here. All right. And it goes for Gleam. But that's okay. I do have some chip damage into the Gallade. I could have easily also just flipped the Trick Room on him. Right. So anyway, I go into Incin now. I intimidate the Gallade. And now we just fake him out. And now there we can just make sure we answer against the Trick Room stuff this next turn. So we're just going to deny it and just flip it on his head, right? And now Incin, not necessarily faster anymore, but we missed the Gallade anyway, so that's fine. And then Sacred Sword just picks up, so that's unfortunate for us, but still very doable. He set up the Trick Room, but look, we have the Gothitelle, and we can just fake out easily, right? So there's Mystical Fire, but again, good damage, but we're in the rain. He does reduce my special attack there. Psycho Cut does not do enough damage. All right, and then here's my Electro Shot. Of course, it's going into the Gallade. Doesn't quite pick it up, but I do need the Trick Room again, right? So another Wide Guard here. Why he clicked Wide Guard, I have no idea. I don't really have a spread move. Maybe he was thinking Expanding Force, but I don't think I would ever have that over here. But yeah, it was just very interesting. So here's the Palafin, and there's Indeedee. I don't think that's really going to help him. Right, so this is not Torkoal Eruption stuff. He's going Helping Hand. He's going with the Terra Blast. That does nothing. Again, we have the defense boost already, and now we start dealing pressure right back. He goes for Trick Room again. That just helps us later anyway. So Psychic into the Palafin. Gothitelle was slower, and then Psychic into my Archaludon. We were slower, and then just Body Press this Indeedee, and that's really all she wrote at this point. He's not even going to give me the KO. So yeah. Good ideas that we had with the Pelipper and the Incin. The Incin's still like so good on this team, guys. Alright, this is one of those Talonflame weird teams. So there's King Gambit, Hisuian Arcanine, Meowscarada, Gallade again. You know, I don't know what has Trick... Well, I guess the Gallade has Trick Room, right? I don't know what you want a Final Gambit here, if this is a Final Gambit set. But I'm not really scared of a lot here. Again, he has a couple things weak to my Politoed here, so I do like that. We just have to be aware of the Meowscarada. So I'm going to go Gothitelle. I'm going to go Toad again. And look, I'm kind of forced to switch here. But I do it for a reason because I know he's going to go for the Grass move, which we easily just resist. And, you know, now there's a bulk up from the Annihilate. That's okay. That's not terrible, right? Because now I'm going for Trick Room. Okay, Sucker Punch. Again, does good damage. We do some Psychic damage into the Ape, right? Thankfully, no drop, which is good news for me because now I can Electro Shot and now we're okay, right? Another bulk up play, getting very greedy, not doing any kind of damage. No Protect is even coming out. So that's interesting there. I could have, you know, again, just attack with the Gothitelle, but I'm just scared of the Sucker Punch Meowscarada. So, yeah. Now, he's down a couple. He was down the Ape. That was the big one. Arcanine, we don't really care too much about because we have a Toad in the back for that. He goes for the E-Speed. But that's never going to really KO there. So, I just wanted to nuke the Arcanine here. And now we trap the Meowscarada. And we still have this +1 in defense from earlier on. There's the Gallade. We're going to go Terra Bug here. He goes Protect Gallade. Why he does that, I'm not sure. Probably because, again, last turn of TR. There's the Body Press. Does really good damage. Knockoff also could be good. But now we just finish him off. We go back into the Toad here. We can't really beat the Archaludon for that matter. A knockoff into my Toad, and a Psycho... Oh, he actually crit me there, but he is a Life Orb Gallade, and we just Body Press Meowscarada. Again, now it's just every 4v1. You know, he can't beat both of us here, so yeah, this is also an easy game here, just in terms of how we positioned ourselves, but there's a Weather Ball. All right, now I just have to send out something else. I'm going to send out Basculegion. We click Aqua Jet, the game is over, and that's how you play this type of Politoed Rain team, right? Just making those trades early on. All right, one more here. So this is a pretty passive Trick Room. He's got Incin, Amoonguss, and there is a Furgraph. Remember what I said about Incin, Amoonguss, and Gothitelle? Also relatively passive. You know, again, he's just relying all of his eggs on setting this Trick Room and then trying to come in with the Gambit or a Azumarill and the Torkoal and just try and potentially sweep me. But, you know, I don't think he has enough damage or enough support here. Actually, I think he has too much support. I think he needs at least one more Mon there for a little bit of a fast mode. But anyway, so I'm going to go Archaludon here. I'm going to go the Toad. And I know his Torkoal's in the back, right? So there's the Furgraph, there's the Amoonguss. That's okay. I just wanted to start off strong with the Toad here. I'm going to go Gothitelle. He goes Rage Powder. So I just want to click Ice Beam here. Right? So this way I can also flip the Trick Room on him, you know, when I do the Gothitelle next turn. I do get the freeze, but he just thaws out anyway. So that's unfortunate for me. There's the Spore. Again, Hyper Voice, good damage, but I just need to get rid of this Among Us, right? So he does live, right? So that's not great for me. So I'm forced to do this where I have to Terra the Politoed into grass. I dodge the Spore. I get to remove the Among Us. But what I am counting on is for my Gothitelle to have this 1-turn wake and flip the Trick Room against the Farigiraf. And I do, right? So there's the Trick Room flip. And now it's fine. He goes into Instant. That's okay. Because now all we have to do is just go back into Archaludon here. And I just want to protect the Gothitelle. There's no way he clicks Trick Room again. But yeah, there's Hyper Voice. We actually eat that very well. So we're +1 defense now. And now all we have to do is just repivot. We'll go into Basculegion. I didn't want to do this, but I needed to preserve the Gothitelle, and I really wanted to have my Fake Out available. So knockoff, you know, goodbye Life Orb. Unfortunate for me. And now Trick Room goes back up, so I have to just reposition and go back into Gothitelle here. But D-Gleam, again, I do have the Vest. Now I'm +2 defense. Knockoff, Gothitelle survives, which is huge. I just need to nuke this Farigiraf and not have to worry about it. Okay, and now there's the Torkoal. All right, so finally the Torkoal's out, but honestly, this is still fine because I have Fake Out, which is why I preserved the Gothitelle. So this way I get to stall another turn of Trick Room. He goes Flare Blitz. Thank you. That does nothing to a +2 Archaludon already. Body Press comes out into the instant, and that's all I needed. This is why I did that. So now, because I stalled out another turn of Trick Room, all I have to do is just reset the weather, let the Trick Room expire, and Basculegion wins me the game. So there's Eruption. Goodbye, Toad. Thank you very much. You did your job. One more turn of Trick Room. Okay, here is the Archaludon. I don't think you kill it, but you do because you get a crit. So, yeah, you are Terrifier. I would imagine that still picks up. But now we are Basculegion in the rain. And now we just click Wave Crash. And now the Torkoal just simply drops, right? Because, you know, again, Stab in the rain, super effective. And that's really all I needed out of that. So, Gothitelle was really good here. Again, we just had to, you know, preserve our Fake Outs, get rid of the Farigiraf so we can click Fake Out. But overall, it was just a decent way to play around the Trick Room stuff. Alright, so a second variant here is a bulkier Politoed set with the Covert Cloak and the Perish Song item. Perish Song move, and then Encore support, just being able to lock them, especially if they go for Fake Outs or Protects. And then, you know, you get to trap them, you know, with the Gothitelle, so that's pretty cool. And then, like I said, Heal Pulse is just great at healing everything because you're going to be pivoting in and out. So just to keep your Mons alive, but Heal Pulse is quite important. But other than that, the same Archaludon set, as well as the same Instant set, same Basculegion set. You know, Politoed with this investment to, you know, 252 Bold max with 212 HP. This is enough to survive Rillaboom, Woodhammer after 1 Intimidate, which I thought it was worth calcing for. King Gambit here is just max attack with a little bit of speed for the mirror and then dump the rest into HP over here. The Incin is the same, the Basculegion is the same, and even the Archaludon is more or less the same here. So you have some setup here with the King Gambit. You have double Fake Out ideas with the Goth and the Incineroar. You have some speed control, ideally, you know, with Swift Swim over here, and the Politoed being able to provide the Swift Swim. But also the Archaludon here just can come in simply and do its moves without even necessarily needing the speed control. So this is another way that I would do it. Again, this is the Perish idea with the Politoed and the Gothitelle. Once you pick up 2 KOs, just click Perish and the game immediately ends once you just able to switch out and alternate and click your Protects, right? So I do like this team too, but I still like the one that we had, the one that we made, which is, again, the first variant, which was this, the Specs Politoed over here with the Trick Room Gothitelle, rather. So I still like that. And then, of course, here is the Rillaboom. So you can even do that. You can do the King Gambit stuff. I think they're both good. I just realized that I did not put the right Terra on my Archaludon. I will fix that in the Pokepaste when I link it in the description below. All right, but anyway, that's it for now. So let me know what you guys think of Politoed and regulationH. And if you need team building yourself, if you need some help, if you're trying to go to a regional, if you're trying to go to your locals, and you're not sure where to start, feel free to sign up for coaching on the channel. Tier 3 sub gets you a one-on-one Discord call with me. And then from there, we get to plan out a team and build a team the way you want it. for whatever purpose that you need it for. All right, so check the video description, check the pinned comment section. There is a link to join the channel with that tier 3 sub, and it's also free to join the Discord. All right, so we passed 1,000 members like almost 2 months ago, so we're continuing to grow. And again, we're still getting closer and closer and closer to that big milestone of 10,000 subscribers. All right, but anyway, enjoy the Politoed teams. Let me know what you think of the Toad. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Peace out, and have a good one.